Recording is on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bat Community Call for Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. What a week it has been so far. Hope you're all doing well. Have all of your fingers, toes, hands, arms, and other, limbs or whatnot after the wild week it's already been, and we're only into Tuesday. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well, and hope things are going well in your neck of the woods. Yeah, I know we've got Jenny out this week. She'll be back later this week. But I think Battern and the rest of the crew are gonna lead us off into the slide deck for this week. So I will hand it off to you guys.
Hello, everyone. I'll be your Jenny for today.
All right.
Welcome to the weekly Bat Community Update. And today we'll start with the Bat Community spaces, the recent ones and the upcoming ones. So today we have a space with Pattern. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it in a few, about onboarding the next 100 million Web3 users in Africa with Brave. It was hosted by CoreDAO, which I believe we have something working in the background, and again with Pattern. Tomorrow we're gonna be having another spaces through Unfungible, hosted by Stream, backed by Animoca, and the team will be is user generated content taking over marketing, and I will be on that conversation, just giving my own input and personal opinions on it. And on the 14th of August, there will be another space hosted by Ape Arcade, about gaming plus beams, the new Web3 culture, and this one will have Drew in it. And the same day, 2 hours later, we'll have another space, what increased adoption for crypto space, hosted by Cyro, and hopefully Jenny will be on that one. So I'm excited all about these ones. Just to mention, the first one with Pattern that happened today was not through Unfungible, it was through CoreDAO. For this Friday, we have a space at the usual time, that's 6 p.m. UTC plus 1. Finally, the European is taken over. Now I can present things in European time zone. Can Web3 still be discovered? And these will have Moongate, Jenny Data, Conviction, and Music Protocol. I believe that will have also a Moon. Oh no, that's Moonwalk that I'm thinking of. Drew will talk a little bit more about it then. This is a brief Echo update. This is just basically overall to showcase the numbers of the projects that we are featuring. Has 1.8 thousand followers, Woo 49,000 followers, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Tani Nu, I have to say it every time, all the way. It's 40,000 followers, Guac 20,000 followers, and Woofy an astonishing 700,000 followers. All of these people will be cross-posting close to the week of release at the 25th of September, all about subscribing to Echo to make sure that everyone in their community receives the free NFT. So this will very likely be pretty big for for the increase of followers in Echo. This will be pretty good advertisement and you should be able to make a lot of noise around it. So I'm very excited about that. And here are two new artworks that are going to be on the magazine featuring two of these projects that are Harry Potter Obama, Sonic Tiny New, I have to say it every time, and Woof, which is one of the OG meme coins in Solana that happened since 2023, if I'm remembering it correctly. And I'll pass it on to Battern.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're not feeling as bad as I am this week with all the action in the markets. We've continued with our ambassador update. So we've continued without Jenny having an early Monday and regular meetings. Of our Leeds meeting on Thursday, I was on a space of CoreDAO, which was very interesting. We're talking about onboarding next 100 million Web3 users in Africa. They're kind of like a chain. It's like an EVM, but it's secured by the Bitcoin hash rate as well. But they're very big in Africa, so I kind of want to get some stuff going with them. And they're not sponsored by any other browser or anything, because I know there's a lot of Opera GX action over there, so it'd be good to take some of their thunder. We're looking to ramp up activity on X. So if you're not a member of the Bat Brigade chat on there, hit me up so we can up our raiding game. We paid out the Zelia rewards as well. That's me. Next one, G.
Apologies.
No problem, Jenny. Hello, everybody. My name is Godson, and I have your African ambassadors update for this week. A couple things to mention. You guys already mentioned like the Afro spaces with Cordell, so I'll skip that for now. But some of the more important stuff, East Safari. So we are on our way to like securing some sort of like partnership with the Safari DAO, who runs East Safari. Basically, we'll have we'll be like a sponsor, and we'll have a booth and all that good stuff. I'm bringing it up today because we have some tickets available. Of course, after giving one or two to Stan and Shidi, the ambassadors in East Africa, will probably have like 2 more available. So if anybody in the community is interested in going or it's going to be in the area, all that kind of stuff, let me know so that we can get you hooked up. But yeah, outside of that, Stan Emmanuel was also at a little meetup called NFT Africa. It was hosted by the Solana Foundation. This little picture here with the brave lion faces is a picture from the meetup. The guy with his back. All right, go ahead, Adam. Tell him all about the back of the head.
So I put it in the chat, but it just amuses me the white fur cheek sticking out on the back of that tiger.
Yeah, so basically to protect everyone's identity and stuff, we have to block their faces, and then Stan is already like we already know what he looks like, but he was this is his back, so there was no way to show his face, so we went ahead and bled it as well. But it was just like a little meetup. We didn't know about it. He just went to it and took some pictures and came back. You can't see it in this picture, but this is he's wearing this is a Brave hoodie that he's wearing right here in the gray. But yeah, moving on. So finally, Alfred, the East Abuja meetup that he was supposed to go to last week did not happen because Nigeria is currently embroiled in a national protest. So pretty much everything that he was supposed to do last week got rescheduled. Protests will go on till I believe the 10th of this month. So probably not going to get much of activity out of Nigeria at the moment. But after that, when it's rescheduled, he'll go again, and then we'll also get you guys updates from there. And then finally, he's going to be at a Cyberchain event in a university in Abuja as well. We're also on our way. It's called Tokenized Economy. It's going to be on. It's a 2-day event, the 3rd and the 4th of October. So we're also working with them to secure like a booth and tickets and stuff. So if anybody also wants some of those, let me know, and we'll get you set up. But yeah, that's it for Africa. Thank you very much, Jenny.
Yeah, no worries. Can we have just a little bit more in depth of CoreDAO? Because I know we had a space today. Adam, if you want to talk a little bit about it, how did it go with Adamac? What do CoreDAW do?
Yeah,
How can we
so
integrate them with
Adamac
something?
set it up. We've had a bit of back and forth between them. As usual, we're like with people who want to have partnerships or whatever. We find the best way is kind of like to have a conversation, and if we're having a conversation, we might as well have one in public, so both our communities can learn a little bit about each other. Like I gave them all the hard shill on Brave and Bat, and I learned a lot about how they operate, and what it's like to onboarding in Africa. I think they were quite impressed by how Brave can save data, because you know how this, we all know that the first thing that everyone loads up when you load a web page is the trackers and the adverts and the cookies and all that, but not everyone knows that. And if you're using expensive data, then that's, you know, every megabyte counts. But like,
Yeah.
I think there's a chance to get them involved with a wallet because it is an EVM machine. So maybe Godson knows a little bit more than me.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to go into it because, you know, I wasn't on the space. It held at like 7 a.m. this morning, and that was a little bit too early for me. But yeah, basically, the core chain is an EVM compatible chain that is on the Bitcoin blockchain. So it's like it basically Ethereum on Bitcoin, essentially. And the core DAO is like the ambassador program for the project. We met them through Adamak. He's been, you know, we've been trying to get like a little, collaboration going, but, you know, they were like, oh, we need to be like integrated into the Brave wallet, you know, integration. And, you know, basically like we can't just jump straight into, you know, integrating literally everybody that, you know, sends us a message. So we said, we'll just start with like a space and then we'll move on from there. So that was the space. I don't have the stats on the space because, you know, it wasn't recorded. And
to be honest, we didn't have the greatest turnout, which because we got rugged twice by X Spaces. So as usual, whenever that happens, I was like, okay, why don't we should use Brave Talk instead. So the next one we're going to have, because I thought I think a good way going forward is to have kind of like ambassador, ex-ambassador kind of community calls where people from our community should all the time be meeting up with other communities and spaces and, you know, just having a conversation so we can both learn about each other. But the way I'd like to have it is so the first space they host on their account, and then the second one will host on Brave Talk to just demonstrate how good it is. And I think, you know, but I think, yeah, we didn't have the best turnout because, you know, everyone's got the space, everyone's seen the tweets, they know they've got the link for the space, you know, and then at the last minute, the space starts, ends in 5 seconds, then everyone's like, okay, where's the next one? But if you don't, then you have to retweet, you know, get it all about again, and you'll never get the numbers you were hoping for. Whereas with Brave Talk, you've got that one link and everyone can show up there, and it's not going to rug.
Yeah. That's why I tried to like listen to it after when I woke up, and like it wasn't recorded or nothing. So I was like, oh wow, that's okay. Yeah, basically. Sorry, let me just finish real quick. But, you know, basically, I think we mentioned this to Luke earlier. He said it's possible, like the integration and stuff. But you know, obviously, it'll take a couple steps before we get there. It is possible to integrate like EVM, compatible chains. So, you know, it may happen eventually, especially if like, you know, get like deep into this partnership with them. But
yeah, I mean, like we support EVM compatible chains in the wallet. Like you just have to add it if it's not like displaying, you know, on its own. You can just add the EVM. I think what was that chain? What's that? Oh gosh, that site where you could get all the EVM addresses. I always mix it up with Chainlink and Chainalysis, and I'm just really putting my foot in my mouth right now. But there is a site where you can go and like pull down any EVM info to input, and once you do it there, it's like supported like in the wallet.
yeah, we'll get there. You know, they just need to buy some ads first, and then of course we'll do it. No problem.
Yeah.
To be fair, looking at it, I've already added it to the wallet, so I don't think it's going to require. I don't think it's going to require much.
Don't leak the alpha, you know. Just
well, they've got the alpha from them is they've got this Ignite program, which is kind of like Zeely, but on chain, so you can earn points for kind of messing around on their ecosystem.
Oh.
Don't tell them it already works. We'll get them to buy some ads first.
Airdrop coming. All right. Let me go farm real quick. But yeah, that's my points for this week. Thank you.
Cool.
Hi, everyone. First of all, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just I want to double check because of because of my AirPods. So hi everyone, happy Tuesday. I hope that you're having a lovely day. I'm here with a LATAM ambassadors update. So this year, the Blockchain Summit LATAM conference will be in Bogota, Colombia, from August 14th to 16th. Actually, a couple of years ago, we had the opportunity to sponsor the edition. I think it was the 6th edition in Panama, and Jenny, myself, and other team members were there to represent Brave, and it was a wonderful experience. We connected with so many people and projects. And well, although we can't sponsor this year's event, we will have the representation and participation of two of our BAT ambassadors, Donatello from Mexico and Wilfredo from Colombia. And Donatello is going to be in Colombia for so and work with Wilfredo to spread awareness about Brave. Most never had the chance ambassadors to attend an in-person event together, so we are very excited for this. And so the focus we will have in this event will be browser downloads through the QR codes of both ambassadors, sticker distribution, these search for Brave Ads campaigns in LATAM. So if any of you are going to attend the event, you can DM Wilfredo or Donatello on X, or you can DM me too, so you can connect with them there. And that's all from my side. I'm very excited for this. Thank you.
All right, my turn. So next week, a few of us, Jenny, myself, Sherelle, I think Luke, I'm not sure if anybody else, but we'll be in Vegas for Rare Evo. It's a crypto conference there, and a lot of different chains that'll be there. One of the big ones, though, is Cardano, and I know I think there's some kind of talks with Cardano, so maybe doing some stuff with them. We'll see. And I guess we'll get a feel too here at the conference. But if anybody's in Vegas next week or lives in the area, wants to attend, we'll be there. Can probably get you some tickets, et cetera, et cetera. So hit us up. And then a little update on the Moonwalk stuff. We've had them on our community call here a few times. For the Olympics, there's a Step for Gold challenge. They get 10,000 steps per day, and sponsored by Brave and BAT as well as WIN. And we got like 1 week left in that. There's 252 people that have joined that. A lot of them have hit the steps every day. Some of them haven't, obviously. There's some, including some of our teams, not to mention names, Banner or Jenny. But Jenny's on vacation. I'll give her a pass. But is just kidding, Banner. I know you got a lot going on too, so all good. But so we'll get some BAT for that. There's 10K BAT being as prize pool for that, as well as 6 million WIN tokens. And then you put in $10 USD for this one, and you'll get a portion of that as well, depending on how it ends up. But it's been kind of fun. It's been good for me to kind of make sure I get my 10K steps every day. There's definitely been a few days where I kind of getting late and I'm tired, and I'm like, got to go walk around for a while. So I think it's been a good little incentive for me to get my steps in. And then after that as well, kind of next round of on-chain rewards is being kind of worked on. And we'll go through the browser, I believe, hopefully in the next maybe month or two. Don't quote me on that. But so hopefully we'll be getting a lot more people getting on-chain rewards here in the somewhat near future, as well as the ones that are getting it now should be getting those pretty soon, next day or so, hopefully, if things go smoothly. And C-Ray, as far as a lot more, I guess, depends on how many people, click on the notification and opt in for it. But I think the idea is it's going to be going out to more folks in different regions as well. So if there's regions that you want to see come online for that, let us know. And then, yeah, speaking of Jenny not being here this week on vacation or paid time off, I think members of the team, Guillermo and Battern next week, and then I'll be out at Rare Evo. But Jenny will be back. So if you need anything, somebody will be around from the community team. So hit us up if you need anything. And then other interesting things going on in the space is just the markets, like Luke mentioned at the beginning. Things pretty crazy this week with dips and coming back and whatever. But also yesterday, I think it was the courts came in against Google in the antitrust case. I think that'll be interesting to see what that does. And for me, I think it's a good thing for Brave, but and hopefully back. But I guess we'll see. So that's all I got. Thanks, Jenny.
Genie.
Sunset super himself on that one.
I dream of Genie.
Yeah, I had a cheeky extra slide.
Ah.
I'll shout out some of the top bat posters this month because I spent this week or this call. I spent a lot of time on the bat hashtag, just scrolling through the latest. Oh, I forgot to put my favorite, which is top pump incoming, which is normally the most common thing on the bat hashtag. But left hand gifts, as always. He's done like 777 of them now. Absolute legend. Whenever you search the back hashtag, he is a good 50% of the content. Mr. Millennial, he's been doing a lot of good posting recently. He's been particularly reaching out and responding to big accounts and spreading the good word. And GNU Keith, he's been doing some really good posting as well. Has anyone seen on X?
Yeah,
really pushing it out in kind of places that we wouldn't necessarily go just from the crypto side. But yeah, those are the best posters.
Love it.
That's it from the Bat Community side of things for the weekly update. And back to you, Luke.
Thanks, Janie.
Genie.
Yeah, no, a couple other things. I mean, the Rare Evo thing, I think Carlos will be out there too next week. Pretty excited for that. And then we're also doing a golf tournament this week with D Gods, D Golfers, and V Sports, Vayner Sports. Sorry, down in Pasadena. So we'll probably be throwing pictures out and video and stuff from that on Thursday. And so looking forward to that. But yeah, Rare Evo will be pretty cool next week. And pretty stoked to kind of get more, in real life time together with people. If you're in the Vegas area next week, hit us up. We'd love to have you come out and meet up in person and all that good stuff. Let's see here. Big news this week with the antitrust stuff. I don't know if people want to talk about that, but super interesting. Obviously, a pretty big deal for Brave too, given that we have a independent search index, and the whole focus of that was on how Google, is basically abusing monopoly power with having their search and the ecosystem chilling and all of that's going on around that. So it's awesome. I'm seeing people talk about Brave and Brave Search, and they hadn't talked about it necessarily before, which was pretty cool to see. I think it's all good, attention it brings on us. Also, obviously, unless you've been, in frozen in guano carbonate or in a tomb somewhere for the past couple of days, it's just been kind of a wild, turbulent, volatile ride in the markets. But I think it's one of those times too where we shine out because we have a product and we'll keep building and growing, etc. pretty bullish on that. We got some news around the next cohort for rewards for on-chain. It's like going to be massive. And so hence, I mean, if it wasn't clued in for asking for countries, it's going to be significant. So I'm pretty stoked about that. More to come on it soon, but I think you guys are going to be happy with the outflow of invites on that one. So I'll open it up for folks with questions. Anybody got? Also, I saw this in the chat too. I think we're working on getting the numbers out today. Hopefully, worst case tomorrow. There were a couple people finalizing things when I looked last, but hopefully that gets out today or tomorrow. Baz, you got a question?
I guess it's not much of a question. It's probably more like a report, but I don't think it was always like this, but with the Bing command for Google Maps, GM, I've noticed that like if you type that into Brave Search, it'll take you to Google Maps, but you have to then type in the address the second time. Like it doesn't actually search the address; it just does a generic Google Maps.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen or heard of that one. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has here, but let me note that down. So wait a minute. So there's an extra step on the Google Maps stuff?
Yeah, I don't think that's intentional. Like, I mean, if you type in like GM and then like an address, it just takes you to Google Maps. But at least on my end, okay, I'm going to do it right now and make sure
it's all good.
On my end, it just doesn't go anywhere else. It just stays. It like kind of like goes to roughly my current location.
I'm making a note too right now to dig on, and that's just on desktop, right?
I mean, I haven't tried it too much, and on mobile, just because like on mobile, if I want to use Google Maps, I'm probably using the app, but I can try it right fast. On mobile, it appears to work as expected.
Cool. Mobile. Okay, I will take a note on that one right now.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are like actually using Bing command. Or I don't know why I keep saying Bing command. The Bang commands.
Bangs
I think they're awesome. I really like that feature, but that was just like one other thing. I also noticed if you do that same command but without an address or anything after it, it just takes you directly to Google instead of Maps, which is kind of interesting.
Okay, I'll note that one directly.
And Reddit, at least on mobile, is showing the switch to app pop up again, but I've already let Fanboy know about that.
Cool.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir. I'm giving you a salute, a proper one, but you can't see it. That's okay.
Oh, I can feel it.
Love it. Awesome. How are you doing otherwise there, Baz? Things good?
Today I'm busy, man.
Yeah.
If I wasn't on vacation next week, I'm on vacation next week, so I'm busy because of that. But I'm also would probably be busy. Just I'm a little busy if I stayed because I probably have to do some stuff related to the hurricane.
Yeah, no doubt. Cool.
I'll be up near where Jenny's at some part of the year. I don't think she's going to be up there this time.
Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy your well-earned vacation. What else do you want to talk about? Anybody? C-Ray. How are you doing, C-Ray? It's been a while.
Yeah, I kind of went AWOL. I guess every time I popped in, I knew you guys were talking a lot on the crypto stuff, and unfortunately, that's just not one of my areas of interest. So I pop in just for everything Brave related, and then just kind of bounce.
Yeah, no worries, man. Well, it's good to hear from you.
Now, I guess when we were talking about the Banes, I did want to actually circle back. Is there a reason why we kind of have everything created to be hard to find? For example, I know when I talked goggles. You have to kind of type things in. And when I was looking at the Baines thing here, which it just linked to, it only shows a handful, even though there's 12,000 something available. You actually have to start typing something in to see if it will pop up instead of, you'd think we'd have a whole alphabetical list.
Include. I'm making a list right now. Yeah, I mean, like, I think even if it was like, well, how many did you say there were? Like thousands, like 12,000 or something? Like, I think
Yeah, according to this, 12,474 available Baines.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even if we did like the top 50 or something, it might be more helpful. More of the bang. I will put a note in on that one. I think that's a good piece of feedback. What was the other thing you mentioned? The goggles too?
Yeah, I was saying it works the same way if you go to the Google search for goggles, like to discover. It only shows 8 of the basic ones, like news from left, news from the right. In order to go through the public to find it, you have to start typing in words and hope that you find one that matches.
Yeah.
If it's public, it should just be able to be easily there,
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of making the user input and pulling up based on input. No, it makes a lot of sense. I will I'll send that one up to you. I think those are a good piece of feedback.
You appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. All right. What else do you guys want to talk about? I got 2 stands in the room. Double stand. Sherelle, how are you doing? You looking forward to Rare Evo next week?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, we're looking forward to going out there, meeting everyone. I am looking forward to connecting with the Cardano community, which will be pretty new for me. So we're excited to go.
Nice. Too. You're pretty good. Cool. What else do you guys want to cover? It's 2:33. We can get deep. We can get shallow. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
You want to say anything related to the news about Google and what?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it probably will require a decent amount of speculation because we don't really know what the full impacts will be from how Google will be impacted by their ruling. And also, they're going to appeal and they might end up doing some type of settlement. We never know.
Yeah, let's speculate. What do you guys think is going to happen?
Oh, we're here to hear your take. No,
I think my take. I mean, I think it'll be. I mean, it's a serious case, and there are other things flying around too that are. It's gonna, certainly. I mean, it's not every day where you get an outcome like this. I think what I'm waiting to see is like what follows on, right? Like, and obviously, I think there'll be some advantage. You're seeing people talk about this too, where like, hey, like there are competitors out there. Like, I think for Brave, what we've seen, like traditionally when these rulings come down on the antitrust side, like it tends to open up more choice for users, and we usually see a good bump from that. With it being the U.S., it's harder to tell because it's different. The most recent stuff we saw was in Europe, but I think I think it's a good thing to have more variety in market. I think people don't realize, like Google search accounts for like something like 98% of query volume globally. It's like some massively ridiculous number, and I think we've got a competitor now, like with Brave Search and others, but bring more choice to market. Like it's important for markets. So I'm excited for what this means for Brave. I think that any exposure you get for search then leads to additional exposure to browser, especially like we're lucky in that you have a product where it has feel to it when of the benefits in addition to what you see. So I know Cripple Resistance, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. I think with Google, we all want to grow a giant company. We want Brave to become a giant company. but we don't want the ethical or the moral problems of Google. What is the point of a company is to grow it like a baby? So I mean, you can't fault Google, but you can fault the morals or the ethics.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that. Like, and also, I mean, you know, these things grow exponentially, and a lot of stuff happens to just the nature of the game. Where, I mean, yeah, like people have qualms with the ethics of Google. I certainly do in some cases, but also, you know, there are other factors at work here too that really can, like, you know, there. How can I say this without sounding horrible? But like, I want to say like pee in the Cheerios, but like, you know, like you've got people like gamifying SEO constantly, right? Like, but then you've also got product decisions too that are not great either. And this whole, you know, principal agent problem too that, you know, Brendan highlighted in the very first Brave blog post that has still never been more true than today. Where you look at how, you know, the commercial side of it takes priority over, you know, the user agent, right? Like, and I think that's the challenge is with companies, especially is getting larger. I think the nice thing with Brave that you know, one has kept me here and many others is that, you know, as we've gone from, you know, 0 to 80 million monthly active users nearly, and also added a search engine to that mix. And I mean, our process around privacy and security is way more strict now than it was in the beginning. And, you know, we managed to keep getting more people without having to compromise on, you know, with really nasty trade-offs that you've seen, you know, the leaders in the market compromise on. I mean, like the notion that too, like, I know it's focused on Google, but I mean, it is wild when you also look at things like how, you know, the Windows operating system now has Copilot built in. Just to get into it, you're now giving it, like, you're authenticating, and there's stuff in this operating system that, you know, forces the hand on using another search engine that's not the one you set as a default, or like the help center stuff is like through another browser. It's just like, I think people are, and it's not just in tech, I think in general, people have hit kind of a rev limiter on just being tired of being like pandered to and like hoodwinked a bit. And I don't think that's hit a full tipping point yet, but I think it's close. And I think that a lot of people who wouldn't normally speak out against things are starting to like get just so frustrated that they're starting to, I don't know, I could just be overreading the timeline here a little bit, but I don't know. I've never seen I've really seen a lot of things go from being, you know, abstract theory to like being real vocal concerns, and also just witnessing how these companies have behaved too in a lot of ways is really alarming. You know, I this all just makes me more bullish about what we're doing, because like there's always this balance of like, don't want to be too early for things, but some things you have to be early on, you know, like, and you have to have people kind of crazy enough to be early, knowing that they're being early. And, you know, sometimes that works great and sometimes it doesn't, but like, that's a challenge, right? Like, and, you know, you're all here because you're early, like, you know, regardless of how it feels sometimes, very early. I'm stoked, you know, like, I don't know. I see a lot of people freaking out on days like yesterday on the market side when stuff's like rocky and you're seeing stuff. And I think I tweeted this out. You're either standing up or you're washing out, right? Like, and I always feel good on those days that we can stand up, because we're going to be here in a year. Like, we're going to be putting out product. Like, we're going to grow our user base. Like, and these big companies are not showing any signs of sucking less. And you know, we'll get big too, like that. But you know, I don't know. I think, you know, we're just built a little bit different. And the day we're not is the day I quit using our stuff. You know, and that would suck. And you know, I think that the thing that we're riding on is the fact that, like, you know, we really are, you know, building for the user, and, you know, people know when you're not, you know, it's just that simple. I mean, yeah.
Well, any company is powerful. It just depends on how you attack that powerability.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is too about, so I mean, like, you know, if you look at the history of antitrust stuff, I mean, like, there are scenarios where Google ends up even making more money off of these decisions than they did in the past, right? Because they get broken up in a certain way or whatever. I mean, these companies are so huge. I don't think people really understand how huge they are. Like, you know, they do more than GDP of countries in a lot of cases. Like, and it's just huge when you think about it. And it's also kind of funny too, because you think, like, gosh, man, like, they walk back on third-party cookie blocking after years of saying they're going to do it in Chrome, and all these bird acronym ways of trying to kind of put lipstick on a pig around advertising, and all the money in the world. Like, they can't figure that part out. It's just wild. Even with the control they have over the market, it's pretty nuts. But it kind of makes me stoked that we're building different here, and that we got people like yourselves that are here with us. And you know, I mean, this is always open forum. Like, that's why I love it. Like, I love it. Bao's giving us suggestions. C-Ray's giving us suggestions. Everybody's kind of telling us what they're doing. We're seeing people tweeting about the project. We're seeing, this is a time when everybody rallies, when, you know, hey, look, there's a glimmer. Like, you know, regardless of what the enforcement action is, it's no small thing to have a court in the U.S. say something like what was said this week. So anyway, kind of bullish on.
Well, just because you break up a company doesn't mean it's still controlled. Doesn't mean it doesn't still control stuff like BlackRock or something like that. You know?
Right. That's true. And I think, like, you know, in a lot of ways, like, you know, Google became Alphabet, right? And a lot of this, it's wild too, because you see within the scope of search, like, how this is getting looked at. But, like, if you zoom out, like, man, the stuff you pull in on sync in across device and at the OS level, it's just so much more data even than what you just input in search. It's pretty incredible. I mean, the amount of data that gets just hoovered up on a daily basis, you know, and yeah, I don't know, like, build better for less. I mean, shit, it's nice. I think, you know, I want to see more companies doing that, like what we're doing. You're starting to see them too. I think, you know, I'm pretty bullish on that. But
Thank you.
they're welcome. Always like the feedback. C-Ray, what's up?
Well, I was going to speak. The bad thing is with companies like Google, you know that all that's going to happen is kind of like we've seen with cable companies and everything. Not sure if you're aware, but cable companies actually have an unofficial deal. They monopolize certain areas. So if you go into a turf, it's like Comcast or Xfinity only. You can't get, you know, Spectrum, which used to be Bright House. And now, satellites are being bought up. AT&T owns DirecTV. EchoStar bought out Dish Network. And those are pretty much, I think, your two primary satellites. So I think all that would happen is either, like you said, Google breaks up and they're two separate but equal companies, or they just kind of hop in the bed with somebody else and, you know, say, well, we're no longer a monopoly. They become a duopoly instead, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably going to feel like a Diet Coke kind of like outcome, but I also think the market, the user bases are so big, and like a little bit of exposure is like it seems like a drop in the bucket, but it's actually like massive. Like, we've seen the bumps on these things, like even little moves. I mean, but the reality, you're totally right. Like, I mean, and companies like Google, they know how much money they have. Like, they can litigate forever, right? Like, but I mean, I think as someone building or on a team building, for an alternative, like even the odds of getting more exposure, however that ends up shaking out, is potentially huge. I mean, it's enough to try to get somebody to convert a search engine or a browser. I mean, it's a lot to it, but like having that visibility at that level, that's potentially there. I mean, who knows? I wonder too, what is this going to mean for like companies that totally rely on, Google search revenue, like for their operations. Like, it's going to be interesting to watch this shake out. And it's also really interesting how small of a world it is with like independent search indexes and how tiny of a tent it is. It's just nuts. I think, Guillermo, you got a hand up.
Let me just add, like a friend of mine was talking to me the other day, and he says that Google searches are just getting worse and worse to the point that he's now switching to Brave Search just because it can actually provide the things that he's looking for. As Google tends to push a lot of things, plus you have the Google Ads like you were referring priorly, and it doesn't always keep the user in mind. It's mostly very monetary derivatives. So in the end, I don't think users will stand up with this for much longer. And if more people are like my friend and are trying to find specific searches, and Google is just providing other things that are not even remotely related or just biased opinions upon that specific matter, it might be a problem. And I think we should definitely capitalize on it because, like my friend, many more people might join Brave Search just to avoid these very biased indexes. Something that I'm excited to see.
Exactly. And I think that there's moves that you can make to be like aggressively pragmatic with this stuff, where it's like, look, like it's not just rulings either. It's stuff like Elon talking about how they're seeing bias in the search results around the elections and stuff. And we have examples where Brave is not doing that, like jumping on those opportunities. Like every time someone says, well, Google is this, Brave should be the follow-up, right? Like as a thing. And yeah, I mean, I appreciate everybody too who's gone and tweeted out that stuff too when they noticed it out there. But I agree. I think like, people are looking for something different. And then it's also like when someone recommends an alternative, like, like jumping in the ring, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's good feedback. I think C-Ray was next. And then I think Aranyaka and Bows maybe after that.
Yeah, and I guess I'll try to be quick, but are we really going to be putting in more time on search and try to have this as an advantage? I know that it's been a constant work in progress, but it's been slow. And I guess as we keep adding things, it seems like we're neglecting. We do still see a lot of feedback on community. Overall, it tends to be people complaining, saying that the results seem more liberal. And not long ago, I had a talk with someone on the search team. I'm not going to say names right now, but what we will look at is we found out that like Goggles, for example, as much as we was telling people they could use that to kind of filter things and choose, like News from the Left has not been updated since 2022. It does not downrank any results. So when people come in, if they want just news from the left, they'll also get news from the right. And there may be websites that they want to see that doesn't show up. And that kind of has been problematic, or, vice versa. So just trying to find out what's going on with Goggles, if it's kind of abandoned, if we're going to eventually try to make it easier, because right now we force people to create a GitHub account and to have to learn the syntax and the code for it instead of just a user-friendly interface and all of that stuff. Do we have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Goggles, like, and especially coming up this year too, with being election season, it's getting more attention. But I think like, kind of zooming out on search is definitely like a ton of work into search constantly. And like, I think if you look at like the AI answer engine, the performance of that, like getting search ads out to help monetize the whole thing, like getting there's a bunch of things around. One, I mean, like some stuff just hasn't been indexed by us yet, right? Like, and so, you know, as more and more people use it, the quality, and people have been using it for a long, I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I mean, like, the quality I know from what I've seen, like, and I've seen it from right when we first got the search engine to now, like, I mean, the more people are using it, the better and better and better the index quality's been. And over time, I think things like goggles, you know, part of that's like, going to be an open source thing, and part of it's going to be maintained by us. And I think it's also like, you know, we're also looking at what people are using, right? Like, and you know, weighing that in, but I don't think it's abandonment more than just like prioritization, like, and getting things that, you know, attention that are getting the most use initially. But yeah, like, I don't think that probably is the most satisfactory answer, but it's the most honest one that I can put out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I guess, yeah, like you said, I was talking about prioritization and not knowing what we're doing as far as hiring perhaps more people to expand or, you know, stay in I guess, so-called skeleton crew. Sorry. But no, I definitely have seen where Brave Search has grown greatly, but still definitely work in progress and little things that would be nicer by all means.
Well, and there's stuff like, I mean, like, we still have a lot of users in countries where, you know, Brave Search is not even the default yet, right? Like, so I think that's a lot of world to tackle, and a lot to prioritize. But, like, you know, I don't know, like, got to know Josep and his team pretty well, and I mean, it's never walk away from a conversation with them feeling anything but impressed by what they're doing. It's just some of this is just faster work and slower work in some areas, and, you know, I mean, we want to do all of it at once, but you know, steady as we go kind of thing. Let's see, Bows, I think you're up next.
I'll let Arnyaka go.
Okay, yeah, Arnyaka, I got totally confused on who had the hand up first.
Sure, thanks. I just got a quick question.
Yeah.
With the advent of Claude or Anthropic's Claude 3.5, is there a timeline where Brave Neo's premium AI LLM is going to be jumping up to 3.5?
Yeah, I don't have a timeline specifically on that one. I know a bunch of work's been on like the bring your own model thing and getting that across the trains. But I know that they're always looking at the new models. So let me see if I can find out more on that one for next week, because I don't have a really strong answer for that one today.
Great. Sure. Yeah, because the 3.0 has been pretty great compared to perhaps like the free versions that Brave offers. And I think 3.5 would be amazing.
No, that's awesome to hear too. It's one of those things where like it's really good to hear what people are liking on the model front. Like, and also like everyone, just a shout out to Arnyaka for like the amazing wrap up posts that you've been doing on these calls. I love them. Thank you for doing that. I think it's like super great. All right, I think Bows will jump right over to you.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that I actually do agree with C-Ray sometimes with the prioritization stuff. I mean, I love a lot of stuff that Brave does, and like I definitely get the small team stuff as well. But I do know sometimes like the prioritization seems a little odd to me. Like, you know, last time I checked, and unless y'all update it since I brought it up last time, like you can't even search news by like date or recency and some of that stuff. So like news is basically, in my opinion, like 70% non-functional. So it's kind of weird to me that like goggles even is a thing before that, because like it was like y'all skipped like one of the you know, essential features for like that kind of area before, and then like jumped to something like more complex. I don't know if there's something like internal y'all could like do to try like maybe figure out like what you're to maybe like just make sure on like your various products that y'all are keeping in mind always, so like the most fundamental keys to success before y'all like move on to more advanced stuff. But I do kind of feel like I've noticed that as well sometimes.
No, I hear you, and I mean, it's also one of the tricky things about doing search in browsers that like people love certain things and use things in very specific ways too, that they not just specific but also like frequently, right? Like so you've got some people, we've even noticed this on other things like menu options, or like on mobile, like never forget, like on Android, I think we moved the menu nav from the top to the bottom or something, and like the amount of like outcry, like you're used to getting feature feedback on a certain scale, and then there will be something that gets changed where the outroaring of noise is just so loud, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, and I think that's one of the difficult things to balance too. But like, the team sees how many news related queries we have. We also have the news feature too, like, and so these things are balanced differently, right? Like and also like where volume of users are and usage and things like this, like a lot of stuff to weigh on this, and also just like innovating too, right? Like and pushing innovative features to market. So I definitely agree, it's a balance, and it's not going to satisfy everybody for sure. And I definitely take the feedback like on it. It's it's not the easiest thing to balance all this stuff, but
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely get that. Like sometimes, as an outside party, it's kind of like, since I'm not like in the midst of everything, like, some stuff might just seem kind of obvious to me. But like, if you're in the weeds on everything with like a million deliverables, like sometimes it's hard to take that step back. So like, I definitely get that. But yeah, I mean, it's just like some features like news, like I just don't use it because, it doesn't have like a foundational thing for me. I mean, like I'd use the news feed. I don't use like news with search.
Right. No, I know it's I mean, it's a balance, man. And I think it also, there are times too when I'm like, man, like you see stuff and people get so zeroed in on a certain thing, like when they're building it, that like that's one of the reasons why I kind of like the train release system we have too, is to set like it kind of, but we don't have that with search, right? Like it searches like live fire kind of from the server side, right? Where the browser stuff, we have like these train releases, so obvious stuff gets caught earlier, right? Like, but yeah, no, I definitely hear. I appreciate the feedback too on that front very much. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, like I think search has actually improved in many ways. So I mean, even though I feel like maybe not everyone feels that way based on some of the previous comments, but since we have like only 1 minute left, I did want to try to draw some attention to what Thee asked. You want to know what kind of work can be or is being done to increase the public perception about. I was hoping maybe you could chime in on that briefly before the end of the call.
Yeah. No, it's great. I think like one is like getting everything on chain. This is such an obvious one. Speaking of obvious things, right? Like where we're actually able to do it. And I know the first cohort we're doing, we're rather small on self-custody, but this next one, I mean, it's like gonna be massive. Like, and it was pushing really hard internally for us to get as big of a cohort for that as possible. And I was really surprised and pleased to hear what the cohort size. I don't know if I can say it or not, so I'm not going to say it, but it's significant. And so I think that it's been a big barrier, like having 2 custodial options, now 3 or 4, instead of it just being like clean on chain. Also, like some of these features we released, like for creators to be able to add a on chain, thing. The more we get it on chain, the more it's free flowing, the more you can do with dApps. I think it's a 2-pronged thing. Like the more we can get this out there on chain, the more we can like get more stuff going with dApps. Like I think we have a great tool and the ability to like promote something a dApp's doing with BAT, like and the fact that BAT's cross chain too. Like you're in a space where now there's like a ton of different things happening all over the place. Like BAT can be everywhere, right? Like, but we got to get this big piece done where stuff's on chain, because then anybody can come play. Like I can't tell you enough, is like one of the most one of the most tragic things is when you have somebody that's gotten into that reward side, and then all of a sudden, like, they can't play anymore because the support from, their custodian's gone. And I think, like, that's what this next cohort, like I was putting on Twitter, like, I really want to make sure, like, folks that are in a spot where their country is not supported, as long as it's not like sanctioned or something, like, I want to make sure we add that country in so they can come back and play, like, because stuff's gotten better. It's only going to get more improved, and getting us stuff on chains, like, really key. And there's so much that we can do around this, like with other projects, other tokens, other collaborations, etc. And it's also like a big deal on the network side too. Like, we're doing this onto Solana, but like you should be able to, settle that multi-chain too, like wherever you want to settle it to, as long as it's not going to like, be so prohibitive that like it eats up the whole cost of it. Like, I mean, I think, we're finally at a stage where these options are becoming reality, and super excited for that. But I think just getting it out there more, and then getting it so that more people can play, it's not so restrictive. Like, we took a hit with the VBAT deprecation, but like that was because we wanted to move this to going on chain. And I think, that's where we're going. So anyway, I hope that helps. Also, like, again, the stories, like more and more supply circulating, 1.5 billion BAT total, Chrome's 3.2 billion. Hopefully we get some more visibility with the ecosystem out there. We're not stopping. So, stick with us. We're here. We're going to be here. Thank you all for coming today. We're over time, but we'll be back 1 week from today. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Jeannie, for filling in for Jenny. Much appreciated. And I'll see you all online. Have a good one. Take care.
My pleasure. See everyone.
All right.
Bye, you guys.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Recording has stopped.